ቸበለው ባልኩኝ ለጋራ ቸበለው ካቃራ ክስር ቸበለው ግፍም ሳትፈራ ቸበለው የተቆጣደው ቸበለው ፍቅር ታክሶ ቸበለው የሚባል ናሳት ቸበለው ይሆናል ብሶ ቸበለው አረ ቸበለው ቸበለው አረ ቸበለው ቸበለው አረ ቸበለው ቸበለው አባይ ለጋሱ ቸበለው ግብፅን አርሶ ቸበለው አገር የምባለ ቸበለው ሊተመልሶ ቸበለው ብሎ አሻፈረኝ ቸበለው ለሳበቃታ ቸበለው እኔን አርገኝ ቸበለው የነካኝ ለታ ቸበለው አረ ቸበለው ቸበለው አረ ቸበለው ቸበለው አረ ቸበለው ቸበለው አረ ቸበለው
ይሰጠዋል ክብር ለሳር ለቅጠሉ እንኳን ለሰው ቀርቶ ለሰራው በአምሳሉ ዘባለው ለምድር ዘባለው ከበላይ ክፉን ቀን አሻግሮ መልካሙን የሚያሳይ ቢመሻሽ ሌሊቱ ይረታል በሻማ ቢያይል እንኳን ብርዱ ያሞቅሎ ይሸማ ገና በልባለም ነገን በማለም ሁን ባለ ተስፋ ምንም ቢከፋ አራይዞን ወገኔ ህመሜ ቻል አድርገው ያልፋል ወድ ከሀገር ይሰፋል መሽቶ አይቀርምና በላቀና በላቀና ይነጋል አይዞሽ ሀገሬ እንደ ወሴማ ልትበዝማሬ
Hello, everybody.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this virtual Hope for Tomorrow Gala being held on World Children's Day, November 20th, 2020. This year's theme for World Children's Day is investing in our future means investing in our children. And this evening's efforts are in that spirit, helping children and young people that are supported by Canadian Humanitarian. Hello, everyone. I'm Doug Dirks, host of the Home Stretch on CBC Radio 1 here in Calgary. And thank you so much for joining us this evening. We're going to have a lot of fun and we're going to be inspired. You're going to spend a lot of money and maybe we'll have a few drinks along the way. One of the things about doing these virtual fundraisers is that normally you're paying $10 or $12 for a drink. Tonight, you can have some of the finest drinks that you have in your own home for a fraction of the cost. So let's look at the silver lining here this evening. Just a couple of things I want to tell you so that if you want to make a donation or if you want to make a bid on the silent auction, the link is, and this is going to give you a chance, hopefully you have a pen and a paper ready to go, trl.is, that's trl.is, and there is a 4-letter code, which is TQRC. So if you're just running to grab that pen and paper and you're back wherever you're watching this from your couch, again, the link is trl.is and the 4-letter code is TQRC. This is truly a North American event this evening as well. Our guests span from the Canadian West Coast to Southern Ontario and all points in between. Our Canadian guests are here from BC, Whistler, Summerland, Kelowna, Coldstream, Vernon, Langley, Victoria, Gold River, Pemberton, Surrey, North Vancouver, and West Vancouver as well. Of course, I'm here in Alberta, and your Premier John Horgan doesn't want us to travel to BC right now because of the pandemic. So this is as close as I can get to you in BC. Thanks for joining us. Also, a big hello to our guests south of the border in Vail, Colorado, Silver City, New Mexico, and South Jordan in Utah. Meantime, here in Alberta, people are joining us from places like Dunmore, Gunn, Medicine Hat, of course, Calgary, Edmonton, Olds, Lethbridge, Bragg Creek, Canmore, Red Deer, and Fort McMurray. We also have people joining us on the Zoom call this evening from Saskatchewan, Royston and Shell Lake, Manitoba, Thompson and Lockport, and from Ontario, Toronto and Cambridge. And I understand it was 18 degrees this afternoon in Southern Ontario. We are jealous. Enjoy it while you can. So now it's my great honor and privilege to introduce to you one of my colleagues here at CBC Calgary, Julie Van Rosendaal. She is the food columnist on the Calgary Eye Opener. And Julie will help us prepare a cocktail or a mocktail of winter sangria for us all to enjoy as we settle into the evening.
Hey everyone, it's so great to be here. Thank you so much for including me in such a fantastic evening for a wonderful cause. I am going to make a cocktail for you tonight. This isn't usually what I do. Usually I'm doing, the main course, the cooking, but I do love a good cocktail. And I thought I would make one using some winter ingredients and winter flavors. We're gonna make a winter sangria. So this is a great use of red wine that, maybe you bought and you don't love, but you don't wanna throw it away. You could also use it for braising, but it's also great for making sangria. You could use the end of your bottle if you have, a few sort of half bottles lying around. You could do this with red or white or even rosé if you like, but I'm gonna use a sort of a robust red. I'm using a Shiraz. And because I'm alone tonight, I'm the only one drinking this, I am just gonna make a small batch. So I put together a recipe for a larger batch. It keeps very well in the fridge. And you can really accommodate all kinds of tastes depending on what you have, what you like. You could play around with this quite a lot. So I started out by making a simple syrup, which is equal parts sugar and water with some ginger. So I've infused the simple syrup with ginger. I did this ahead of time, but I'll just show you in a glass bowl that you can do in the microwave, or you can do it on the stove top. This is equal parts sugar, just regular sugar and water. If you wanted to use tea, you could. That would be delicious. You could infuse your simple syrup with all kinds of flavors. Citrus zest, spices, tea leaves. I'm gonna use some fresh ginger, and you don't even need to peel it. Just get a knob of ginger, coarsely grate it, or just thinly slice it into your syrup. and pop it in the microwave for a couple minutes. Stir it once or twice until the sugar dissolves. It's gonna turn clear. Or just cook it on the stovetop. Bring it to a simmer and let it simmer for a minute, then take it off the heat and let it cool just, in the bowl or in the small saucepan on your stovetop. And once it's cool, you have this lovely ginger syrup. It's actually not only great for cocktails, but it's great for making fizzy drinks. If you have one of those fizzy water makers at home, you can make your own ginger ale with this ginger syrup. So this is just ginger. You could put star anise in there, cinnamon sticks in there, citrus. You could make a really complex syrup for your cocktails or for your sangria, but we're gonna throw all those ingredients directly into the sangria. So this is cooled. You could strain it just with a strainer, but I'm gonna pour it off because those slices are fairly big. It's easy to just pour off into my cocktail. So I've got a beaker because that's just what I have, and some juice. Now you could use pomegranate juice, you could use orange juice. I like using orange juice because I often have it around. This is just orange juice. And about half and half, or even like 2 to 1 wine to juice. It's really a matter of taste. It's like cooking. You can add more juice if you want it a little bit less boozy. You can add more wine if you want it, more wine heavy. And this is a Shiraz, but any kind of full-bodied red wine is kind of my go-to. And often I'll pick up the more inexpensive bottles if I have some friends over, which I know we're not doing this year, but under normal circumstances, I would pick up some more inexpensive bottles, and this is a great way to kind of stretch it further if you're on a budget, or if you don't want, people to be drinking really strong alcoholic drinks. This is a good way to cut it so that people can kind of drink over the course of the evening and not drink too much. So we've got juice and wine in here. If you use pomegranate juice, you could use the pomegranate seeds in there as well, and that is really delicious. So then I'm gonna add some herbs. I've got some fresh rosemary that I'm just gonna add straight to the pitcher because it looks fantastic. It's really, it's so visually appealing as well. So fresh rosemary, if you wanna kind of bruise it with your fingers a little bit, bash it with a knife before you toss it in, that'll help release some of those flavorful oils. And then I'm gonna add some of the, not this one, I'm gonna add some of this, cooled, infused. It's had a chance to sit, so it's taken on a little bit of that ginger color. And it's a little bit more syrupy, you can see. Now this you can add according to your taste. Most sangria has some honey or some brown sugar in there, and this is gonna add a bit of sweetness, but also that ginger flavor. Okay, now I'm gonna add some spices, some warm spices, cinnamon sticks, star anise, and those are pretty big. These give sort of a licoricey, warm licoricey flavor. So I'm gonna add those whole. You could infuse those into the syrup as well if you like, but I just like the visual of the star anise kind of floating in the sangria. And then we're gonna add some fruit. Now, sangria is a great use of all kinds of winter fruits. Citrus is classic if you wanna add some orange slices. If you have mandarin oranges that are getting a little bit squishy, you can toss them in the freezer actually, and then either chop them frozen or in half and just throw them into your pitcher, or you could use navel oranges, any kind of citrus. I wouldn't use lemon, as a little bit harsh, but a Meyer lemon would be good, which is more mild, and it is kind of a cross between a lemon and a mandarin orange. But I often throw citrus fruits in the fridge if they're getting a little bit soft. I'll slice them and throw them in the freezer, not the fridge. Throw them in the freezer, slice them, put them in the freezer, and then you can put them straight into your sangria, and that will keep your sangria cold and infuse it with the flavor. So I've got an apple, which is a little bit unusual for a sangria, but really delicious. So I'm gonna slice some apple right in there. I like using a nice tart apple, but a pear would be delicious too. Whatever you have around and however much you have. If you want to eat half your apple and put the other half in your sangria, you don't need to put the whole apple in there. And then I'm going to refrigerate this for, a little while, at least a half an hour, just to allow the flavors to sort of meld and mingle. If you have more time, you can leave it longer. If you want a bubbly sangria, you could add some sparkling wine to it as you serve it, or you could add some bubbles, some bubbled water, and that will give it a little bit of levity through the bubbles. So yeah, that is how simple it is. It's a really easy winter sangria that you can do for 1 or 2 or 10. It's easy to double. It's easy to mix up in large batches or smaller batches, depending on whether we're gathering or not and how many people you have in your house. So thank you so much for including me. Of course, this evening is all about donations, so please go donate and have a wonderful evening.
Thanks, Julie. I'm thirsty already. And if you're not familiar with Julie Van Rosendaal, you can follow her on Twitter and her social media. She's at Dinner with Julie, does a fabulous job. I know I'm looking just at the bottom of the screen here. I'm seeing people coming in from around the world. And I just saw somebody sign in from Las Vegas. I saw somebody else from Stratford, Ontario. If you live in Stratford, please say hello to my friend Dave and Shauna. They own a bed and breakfast in Stratford called Ariel's. So small world. We're all together this evening and having a great time. And we couldn't do this without the support of some fabulous sponsors, and we'd like to acknowledge them now. Carter and Ellie Siebens. Ellie and Carter have been supporters of Canadian Humanitarian now for over 12 years. We appreciate their valuable contributions, of course. Also, Dr. Justin Steed, who is from Southern Alberta, Medicine Hat Toyota, Amanda Vandermolen, and Danilo Moran, carrying on the tradition that Toyota has had for over a dozen years supporting this event. Dr. Matt Gibb from Gaslight Dental in Medicine Hat, Dr. Ted Cowton and Sylvia Cowton from Medicine Hat as well. Myers Norris and Penny of Medicine Hat, and special thanks to our Hope sponsors, Julie Dixon, Carla Risling of Medicine Hat Hearing, Lyle and Sharon Taylor, and Viola Glaze. We appreciate the dedication of all of our sponsors to serving their community, both locally and globally, of course, and especially this event tonight. Special thanks as well to Stay at Home Fundraising for their behind-the-scenes technical support for Canadian Humanitarian's Gala tonight. Devour Catering here in Calgary, Shooting Star Events in Medicine Hat, Plum Grocery Club in Lethbridge, Eats with Luke, Fiasco Gelato, who prepared the charcuterie boxes and treats for guests to enjoy this evening. I hope you're enjoying those. I had one show up on my doorstep the other day, and it was full of some fabulous items, so enjoy that. I just want to let you know as well that the online silent auction is open all night long. You can access it with a different electronic device than you are viewing this presentation with, so you can watch and donate money at the same time. It will close at 9 o'clock sharp tonight. You'll be contacted if you won your desired item, and arrangements will be made for getting it to you. And now we have this short video to show you.
This is Talahun. I am director of United Hizanat Ethiopian Haber. You can call it YTH in short. YTH have 2 projects. The 2 projects are the Gulale and Alandan projects. We serve 100 kids every year in these 2 projects. We are serving the kids since 2005, having Canadian Humanitarian as the only financer. Our kids are from poor of the poor. So our focuses are kids. Guardians also get some direct and indirect supports. We give to our kids home-based or family-like support via our home-based foster care support program. This way, we pave the way to their better future. Hence, most of our kids are promoting from one grade level to the next every year, while others join universities and others complete and join the labor market. Though we were challenged by COVID-19, we were providing direct and indirect supports via our virtual and in-person mechanism set. Currently, our centers are fully operational to the extent of our previous activities. Therefore, I would like to pass my gratitude to our only financer, Canadian Humanitarian, and its back supporters. They can be organizations or individuals, because You are backbones for what we are doing. Thank you again. Be protected from COVID-19.
And thank you so much for that. And I'm honored. My wife and I also sponsor one of those young people in Ethiopia, and we get all kinds of correspondence from them, photos, and it's such a wonderful cause, and we're pleased to be part of it in that way as well. You can also support this event tonight for Canadian Humanitarian by entering for a door prize, and they'll be winners will be announced at the end of the night. This is a special weekend getaway, October 2021, and hopefully this is all over. At least we have a vaccine by then, at the Walnut Beach Resort in Szocs, BC. So good luck to whomever gets that special prize. And if you've never been to Szocs, wonderful part of British Columbia, only desert part of Canada, and some fabulous wines in that area as well. So good luck, and we'll announce that before the end of the program this evening. Now we're going to go to the Kirkus traditional dancing team, who have in the past competed in the city of Addis Ababa, and one year won the Gold Cup for their performance. Due to COVID, the full team is unable to meet, of course, and perform for us, but some of the teams sent this for us to enjoy tonight. So please welcome the Kirkus Center traditional dancers. Yeah, they do need a rest. That was quite the workout. I can tell by that wonderful dancing and how much effort they put into it that somebody's not gaining the COVID-15, unlike the rest of us who've been binging Netflix for the last 8 months. Now it gives me great pleasure to introduce you to Dr. Richard Northcott, who is a physician from Medicine Hat, Alberta, who's worked as a family physician, emergency physician, and a hospitalist throughout his professional career. He currently works in Fort McMurray and Medicine Hat communities as a hospitalist and clinical physician. He's also active in medical volunteer work in Africa as part of his service to Canadian Humanitarian. Dr. Northcott is a co-founder and acting executive director for Canadian Humanitarian, which has been a registered charity since 2003. Canadian Humanitarian has education support programs for high-risk and vulnerable children through 10 projects in Ethiopia, 3 communities in Malawi, and works in partnerships with additional international charities from Ghana and Guatemala. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Richard Northcott.
Let's welcome to Canadian Humanitarian's virtual gala, held this year on the World's Children's Day. The World Children's Day was actually started in 1954 by the United Nations to bring attention to the plight of impoverished children. What a year it's been. We've had COVID with rising death tolls, global recession, school closures, shutdown of social interaction. We've had crazy political turmoil in the United States and elsewhere. Democracy is gasping for breath. There's loss of civility and public discourse, and even the threat of civil war. We've had earthquakes, hurricanes, locusts, and famine, and civil unrest and even war in Ethiopia. We had our own firsthand brush with police and judicial corruption this year. We have been tried, tested, and polished. And yet, we remain optimistic. Our kids continue their education with an expanded role for our education support centers. Kids graduate and prepare for graduation. Now, food aid has been extended to the guardian families whose support networks have all but collapsed. We continue to implement girls' empowerment programs and to prepare entrepreneurship and literacy programs for adult guardians and graduates. We have not been able to travel to Ethiopia or Malawi or Guatemala since March, but our capable staff on the ground in each of these countries keeps our programs functioning within new restrictions to benefit the children. Who can measure the effect of helping but one child? When you drop a pebble into a pool of calm water, the ripple grows and grows over time. When one child succeeds, the benefits, like the ripples in a pond, spread. The child grows up, supports their extended family, provides for their own children, and gives back to those in their community who are in need. And so the ripple grows. And what about all those who work with us? The expedition volunteers, the event committees, the donors, the board members, the like-minded organizations. They all contribute to that growing wave while being simultaneously lifted by it. I could give you statistics, financial and activity reports, but the real story is told in the lives of the individuals who have been benefited. Tonight, you will hear from some of those lives, some of those whose lives have been forever changed. We want to thank all of you who have had a part in this transformative work. Now I want to introduce Mena to you. Mena is one of our graduates.
Hello there, this is Mena from I teach Alam Ghana branch. I'm Mena Zoga. I was one of the student in YTH from Alimgana. Before 13 years back, you were with me when I need your help. My father was died when I was 10, and it was difficult for my family to pay school fees for me and to give me a food. But you were there to help me, to help my family too. So I want to say you thank you for that. When I was 13 or 14, I was sick, epilepsy, and you were helping me by medical treatments, by medicine, and by a lot of things. I just want to say you thank you again. I was graduate from Mizantep University before 5 years on 2008 Ethiopian calendar by English language and literature. Now I'm a teacher in a School of Tomorrow in Addis Ababa. I'm happy because when I was kid, I just want to be an engineer and teacher, but I can't be an engineer now. I am a teacher. I'm happy for that. Now, this is 2012. I mean 2013. I got married on 2012, and I got a cute baby boy on 2013. Now I'm happy. For this all, for this all, I just want to say you thank you. I just want to say you thank you again and again because you did a lot for me. I just want to say you thank you again. Okay. Let me show you my baby boy. He sleeps now. Let me show you. I think you can see him. Oh God. Yeah, you can see him now. Yeah, he sleeps in the net. This is my house. This is my house. Yeah. I wear a traditional clothes because I came from a church. That's why this is my home. Yeah, you can see it. Yeah, this is a bedroom. This is Magdas. Thanks so much. I just want to say you thank you for everything. You helped me for everything. That now I'm here because of you guys. Okay. Thanks so much. Love you. Bye bye.
Thank you so much. Now, I'd like to introduce you to Danielle Scogan, who is a nonprofit leader, coach, educator, and women's empowerment advocate. A teacher by trade, Danielle believes that education and empowerment are the keys to ending poverty. After 2 years in a Calgary classroom, Danielle uprooted her life and moved to Guatemala to lead education and fundraising initiatives for an international charity. Danielle was moved by the resiliency of Guatemalan girls and women, but troubled by the harsh obstacles facing them, such as teen pregnancy and gender-based violence. Determined to make a difference in 2014, Danielle requested the support of the International Real Girl Foundation. With its founder, Ania Bogue, they co-founded Cernina, Real Girl's Latin American branch. Over the past 6 years, the Cernina program has reached thousands of youth in Guatemala and provides empowerment workshops to over 400 at-risk youth every week. Danielle joined Canadian Humanitarian as the program development director in December of 2019. She leads in areas of fund development, donor relations, project management, and educational initiatives. Danielle continues to work in a liaison position with Real Girl, and a key component of her role at Canadian Humanitarian is creating a customized version of the Real Girl empowerment and gender equity curriculum to be implemented in all Canadian humanitarian centers. Ladies and gentlemen, Danielle Scogan.
Hello, everyone. It is such an honor to be here tonight. As Doug was saying, I've been on the Canadian Humanitarian team for just about a year now. And I have to say, after over 7 years of working in nonprofit and international development with many different organizations, I have never had the opportunity to work with an organization that has such a holistic approach, such an intentional approach, as much of a successful approach as Canadian Humanitarian does. So it's a true honor to be part of the team and here celebrating with all of you. I was asked to speak tonight just quickly about the new collaboration we have with the Real Girl Foundation and Canadian Humanitarian. As Doug was saying, we are thrilled to be bringing Real Girls, girl empowerment and gender equity programs to every child registered in Canadian Humanitarian programs in Ethiopia. I have been working very hard with our local team in Ethiopia to create customized curriculum that will truly target the key issues facing girls and boys growing up in Ethiopia. So we're addressing issues such as early child marriage, teen pregnancy. We're working with goal setting, financial literacy, as well as general empowerment and personal agency development. It has been such a journey to help create this program, and we're so thrilled to be launching it now. Another key component of this collaboration with Real Girl and Canadian Humanitarian is the partnership with our Guatemalan branch, Sereninia. Sereninia has already given thousands of children access to our workshops and empowerment opportunities, and we do so in collaboration with local public schools. It is our hope that one day we'll be able to bring the extremely successful Canadian Humanitarian holistic model to one of our partner communities in Guatemala to not only provide them with empowerment programs, but also the whole gamut of the offerings that Canadian Humanitarian provides. And it is my hope that one day we'll also have expeditions. So if any of you have ever dreamed about going to Guatemala, the heart of the Mayan world, soon, maybe one day you'll be able to. It has been such a crazy year for all of us with COVID-19, but girls and women are at some of the highest risk. COVID-19 and lockdown procedures have set back the women's movement and gender equality generations. We are seeing unprecedented rates of teen pregnancy. Domestic violence cases are increasing every single day. And unfortunately, girls are dropping out of school at unprecedented levels, which is expected to continue for the following year and years to come. It will take a lot of hard work to recover from many of the setbacks for women, girls, and gender equality in the coming years. However, we are hopeful, and that is why we decided to name the gala Hope for Tomorrow. Just like Canadian Humanitarian, the Real Girl Foundation as well, we are never overwhelmed by the obstacles. Instead, we are hopeful for the future. We're hopeful for the future of our programs. We're hopeful for the future of the children enrolled in our programs, knowing that through continued support, they will be able to overcome the obstacles. So from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank all of you from us in Guatemala, Ethiopia, and Malawi for sharing that hope we have for tomorrow and the belief in the empowerment and the education of all the children enrolled in our programs. Thank you all so much. It's such an honor to be here with you today. Back to you, Doug.
Thanks, Danielle, and keep up the great work. My son had a chance to go on a volunteer mission to Guatemala in his last year of high schools. They had a chance to build stoves for people who had very little, and he was struck by their spirit and came home a changed young man. So those kind of projects are close to my heart as well. Now, Ethiopian-born and Canadian-raised singer-songwriter Zada writes with a poet's eye for detail and a painter's feel for composition. The 17-year-old's colorful grand piano and earthy alto delivery, old soul lines that belie her years. They root her songs of youthful hope and real human moments with real instrumentation. Now, during the pandemic, she's currently working remotely on her debut release with A-list personnel in Canada and Los Angeles, whose credits include Rihanna, Alicia Keys, Gwen Stefani, and Jacob Dylan. While she's been on many stages in recent years as part of a girl group or fronting a band, the Hope for Tomorrow virtual gala marks her first online solo performance.
Hello, my name is Zada, and I'm here to perform with you guys tonight. Hope you're all feeling good over there and excited for all the shows coming up. So yeah, I'm so happy that I could be a part of this, and it really means a lot to me. Tears from the news, don't need more proof. So much at stake, cycle won't break. There's hurt in every heart, but when you let it go, love's all that's left. If love is all that's left, what comes next? We're the kids and we're the people. the beauty that lies in all of us. There's no tomorrow till we've put in the work. We'll have the tomorrow we build today. 'Cause we're the kids and we're the people, burning bright for the future. We will succeed when we're equal. It's our right to, yeah, hold your hands up and be proud that when you step outside, your skin blends with the midnight. Hold your hands up, say out loud that you will stand beside us, then we'll join like the midnight in the moonlight. Hold your hands up, midnight, moonlight, light. Midnight and moonlight for brighter days. Midnight and moonlight for brighter days. Hold your hands up and be proud that when you step outside, your skin blends with the midnight. Hold your hands up, say out loud that you will stand beside us, then we'll join with the midnight in the moonlight. Okay, yeah, so that was Proud, and I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. So yeah, the next song I will be doing is, shoot, what is it? When? If I stare at the clock now, watch the time go round and around, while the day stretches thin. Will my thoughts at night ever leave me alone? Pack my bags now. If I empty my penny jar and I leave through a back door, will my thoughts at night ever leave me alone? Well, when I go Yes, so as you can imagine, I wrote that song when I was a kid, still am, and I was just like, where am I going? What am I doing? So yeah, it was a good song for me to play for tonight because it's still very relevant for me right now. And my last song, which has been lovely playing for all of you guys, my last song is Sing a Love So Sweet, and it's a bit, well, sweet. I remember last night, leaving from my room early. Sun had set, and I felt so alone. You weren't there, telling me all the hues from yellow, orange, and blue. But I'm alright now. I'll be outside now. I'll be waiting for you to sing a love so sweet to me. Sing a love so sweet to me. Till there's butterflies at my fingertips and dragonflies overhead. Symphony of beating wings so sweet when you sing. Take myself back to when you said the color of my soul, brought out the blush in my cheeks. I'm wishing you knew, so when I see you, I'm gonna tell you the truth. Find my smile. I'll be alright now. I'm outside now. I'll be waiting for you to sing a love so sweet to me. Sing a love so sweet to me. Till there's butterflies at my fingertips and dragonflies overhead. Oh, 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 oh. Sing me a love so sweet, make it into a symphony. Sing me a love so sweet, make it into a symphony. Oh, you're so sweet to me. Thank you. Have a lovely night.
Thank you, Zada. That was fantastic. She mentioned that she wasn't quite sure where she was going or what she was doing. I think she's well on her way to some bigger and brighter things. Her first solo online performance, what a wonderful job. And I noticed all the comments online while Zada was performing, and her family, of course, proud, and they should absolutely be very proud because she did a wonderful job for us, and looking forward to seeing her in the future as well. I know where we're going right now. We're going to hear from Deborah Northcott, who joins us now with a special presentation.
Thanks, Doug. Most incredible stories start with, it all started when? It all started when Nick and Shay came with us to Ethiopia as part of an Okanagan College field study group. And it was an incredible trip. Nick and Shay Seaton began the Test of Humanity in 2010 in Summerland, BC, to fundraise for Canadian Humanitarian education programs. They had traveled to Ethiopia and seen the need for and the positive impact of education programs firsthand, and they wanted to find a special way to support as well as give back to their own community. They created an amazing event that people loved, year after year. The Test of Humanity brought the mountain bike community together for one day to raise funds as they did what they love most, to race and ride an exciting trail. Nick and Shay developed a special area of open land in Summerland, BC, creating a beautiful trail that was 10 kilometers in length with a change in elevation of 400 meters with each loop. The trail was available all year round, and Nick and Shay groomed and cared for it. But on the special day of the race, the challenge or test was for riders to ride as hard as they could around the 10 kilometers for 4 hours. Younger riders did modified times and lengths. Everyone who wanted to ride could join. Some as young as 2 and 3 years old participated in 30-minute tests on a 500-meter loop. Hundreds of enthusiastic mountain bikers participated every year. Nick and Shay have a really special talent for bringing people together, and this was no exception. With the help of local businesses, the mountain bike community, service clubs, and their extended family, they created unique traditions, annual clothing and cycling gear, handmade prizes, and a team of over 80 volunteers for this special day. Truly, this race became a legacy of Nick and Shay's spirit of service and volunteerism, along with all those who wish to serve with them. From 2011 to 2019, $469,058 was raised by the Test of Humanity for Canadian Humanitarian programs. Isn't that incredible? To honor them, we would like to present this special Legacy Award 2020 on behalf of our angel sponsors, Ellie and Carter Siemens, in recognition of their service to young people in Africa. Thank you, Nick and Shay, for your years of service and this labor of love for youth in Africa, love of the mountain bike community, the outdoors, and support of Canadian Humanitarian. Congratulations. We so appreciate all that you do.
Thank you very much. Nick and I very much appreciate this award, but we just want everyone to know that it's not just Nick and Shay. It really is Dick and Deb that took us to Ethiopia originally, and their inspiring work that led us to start creating the Test of Humanity. We had so much support from our local community in the Okanagan over the 9 years of the race. We had amazing volunteers, riders, sponsors supporting our event, and it wouldn't have been possible without all those people. So although Nick and I very much appreciate this award, we'd like to accept it on behalf of the many people that were involved in the Test of Humanity. Thank you so much.
And thank you so much. Congratulations, and keep up the great work on behalf of Canadian Humanitarian. And now we have a few more videos to show you.
My name is Matas 5. I was introduced like 11 years.
Oh, grade 6.
Yeah. When I was grade 6, I was introduced scholarships. I entered to music club and circus club, and I stay in that clubs up to when I transfer into scholarship, like circus, music, Ethiopian instruments like crab, drum, masiko. After I lived for just 1 year. After 1 year, I was graduate. Yeah, there are so many memories. Like I have 25 brothers and 24 sisters. So I have a family and a friend, and I get more, like I get the library, I get friends, I get so many experience. I want to thank every staff first in the Gala Center. They are a good person for me. Until now, I go to there and hire them, and I want to thank the scholarship staffs and the mother and father, Mr. Moscot and Deba, and say hi for us.
Canadian. How are you? My name is Fadil Habasha Mohammed. I come from Gulande Project or White Age Project Center, and I joined the center when I was 6 or 7, I think. I have an unforgettable and lovely moments up there, chilling, studying, meet new friends like brother and sister, and I passed all educational challenge and I joined university. I think you know that university, Gondar University, and I study adult education and community development, and I graduated by 3.35 points. It has much better. I got it, and after graduation, I started new class by Royal College, business management in night class, night school. And now I have no job, but for now, not forever, because we have the main problem and the challenge in the world. This pandemic takes our social interaction, our entertainment, our job, our education. I don't know what you want. And after this pandemic, I have job, I think. So you protect yourself from this pandemic. And finally, I would like to say thank you, because you teach me the main thing. You teach me when you want to support someone, it doesn't matter color, it doesn't matter country, it doesn't matter race, it doesn't matter religion. It's a matter of humanity. So you teach me the main thing. Thank you, thank you. I have no words to express my feeling. I thank you, thank you.
Some inspiring words from some inspiring young women. And now we're going to go to Dr. Justin Steed, who is presenting the next award for us this evening.
Canadian Humanitarian would not be able to succeed without the support of many individuals who freely offer their talents, time, and efforts to reach those in need. This evening, we would like to recognize and honor a special ambassador and advocate for Canadian Humanitarian. An ambassador is defined as a person who acts as a representative or promoter of a specified activity. Andrew Allen began looking for a way to help support Canadian Humanitarian's efforts in 2014, which became a special expedition in 2015 called Music Without Borders. A contest was offered to take 2 of Andrew's fans with him to Ethiopia and help him host a music concert there. In preparation for this special trip, Andrew created an original song for Ethiopian children to learn and perform called You and I. After visiting most of Canadian Humanitarian's programs, Andrew hosted a live concert in Addis Ababa with over 350 Canadian Humanitarian students participating. Using real video from his expedition trip in Ethiopia and the performance of the children with him in concert, the music video You and I was publicly released on November 25th, 2015. It is still available for purchase, and all proceeds from the song sales go to support Canadian Humanitarian. Sharing his experience at backyard concerts, on-stage performances, and with anyone willing to listen, Andrew has shared his passion for the work of Canadian Humanitarian with thousands of people around the world since his return from Ethiopia. Thank you, Andrew. In recognition of your exceptional efforts as an ambassador for Canadian Humanitarian, we are pleased tonight to award you with this Ambassador Award for 2020. Congratulations. I really appreciate everyone who has tuned in tonight and for all of your support. Have a great night.
It's an absolute deep honor for me to receive this award. And the funny thing for me is that I feel as much as I'm honored to receive the award, that it's just our responsibility as humans, especially ones that have platforms, to be able to share the incredible work that Canadian Humanitarian is doing in Ethiopia. And I think I was so unbelievably inspired by not only Deb and Dick Northcott and their inspirational stories and the way that they connect with these people there, but also going there and holding the hand of one of the children and realizing that I'm human and they're human. And until we find the end of poverty, we haven't done our due diligence and the work that we are here to do and the responsibility that's been laid upon us. So thank you very much for giving me this award. I will cherish it and continue to move forward in the best way I can to promote Canadian Humanitarian and the incredible work you're doing.
And Andrew's doing some fabulous work himself, and you're about to hear him perform in just a few minutes. Now, before we move on to that performance by Andrew Allen, we'll have something special to help with the fundraising efforts tonight. Our Angel sponsors are offering to match a portion of their sponsorship for this event tonight. So in the next 30 minutes, as you enjoy the entertainment, we will have a donor blitz to see if we can match their $10,000 donation. Now, watch your screens to see how we're going to make that match. You can donate on the event page that you signed up for this evening. So the information is there for you, or you can call in your donation at these phone numbers, 540-319-3549 or 403-528-0689. And I have to tell you, we're already at $66,000 tonight. You're doing a fantastic job. The goal is to get to 100,000 or more. So keep it up, and you have 30 minutes. So as Don Cherry used to say, we're going to sympathize our watches. It's now just before 8 o'clock. So we'll cut off the matching at 8:30. So keep those dollars coming for Canadian Humanitarian. We have people on those phones that will help take your donation and your credit card details so you can help us match or surpass that amount. Now, on to our featured performer this evening, and in addition to Zada, of course. He's a Canadian singer-songwriter from Vernon, BC. He signed to Song ATV and has released 5 top 10 singles and written and recorded many others, including Where Did We Go with Carly Rae Jepsen. He also records covers and posts them on YouTube. You can check him out on his social media platforms and also online at andrewallenlive.com. Ladies and gentlemen, Andrew Allen.
I'll tell you, it's a pleasure to be here tonight. I wish I was with you in person. I remember doing many a gala with Canadian Humanitarian, and it's always been a really, really fun night. This is the song that we spoke about a little bit earlier, the song that I had the opportunity to write and then teach and perform with over 350 students in Ethiopia. It was a very moving experience for me, and it got me thinking that it's not about being a teacher or a doctor or somebody that you believe has a platform to be able to create change. It's just being a human. And if you are willing to either fly to the other side of the world or contribute dollars to be able to help, then you're doing what you need to do. And you're basically standing in front of one of these kids saying, look, I don't know what your past was, but I'm here to make sure that your future is better than that. And I do not believe that we don't have enough. I believe that we do have enough, and we just need to figure out how to distribute it evenly. This is a song called You and I. It's about working together and doing the things that are necessary to end and eradicate poverty.
You don't ever see a one-man army or a sky with a single star. 'Cause if we do it all alone, that's only a little piece of who we are. And sure, we might be young, but we're gonna get older, weak, but we're gonna get stronger, scared, but we're gonna get over all of this. Because you and I, we will go. You and I, we will show that the things we can do together, we could never do alone. You and I, we will go. Yeah, we will go. You don't ever see a single sunrise that didn't need the earth to move. If I could see the world through your eyes, imagine all the things we do. And sure, we might be young, but we're gonna get older, weak, but we're gonna get stronger, scared, but we're gonna get over all of this. Because you and I, we will go. You and I, we will show that the things we can do together, we could never do alone. You and I, we will go. Yeah, we will go. Yeah, we will go. You and I, we will go. You and I, we will show that the things things we can do together, we could never do alone. You and I, we will go.
Like I said, I wish that I was there celebrating with all of you in person this incredible evening where we get the opportunity to raise money and funds for some of the most at-risk people in the world. They don't even get to start from a fair place. And the money and the generous donations that you provide tonight, they go so far. And being there and seeing it firsthand, the holistic approach of creating food and creating food right where they are, cooking the food, and making sure that every one of those children in the after-school programs have something to eat, and they get an incredible education, and they get to go on to do awesome things. That's where your money goes, and it's important. This is a song that really has very little to do with what's going on, except for the fact that it's about love. It's a fun opportunity for you at home to snap along, because sometimes as we're all separated in this space, it's hard to do something together. So I encourage you, while you're at home, do a happy little snap solo along with this song, because it's going to be sweet. It goes like this.
Lost in the day, in a way, it's the same as the one before this. And I wish I could say that it's all black and white, but it's gray. It's the same, and I'm so tired, but I'm coming home too. Oh, I'm thinking about a red wine buzz and taking it easy. When I got you in my arms, taking a break from crazy. And I'll say, hey, I'll say, baby, how's your day? I'll say crazy, but it's all gonna be alright. You'll kiss my smile, I'll pull you closer, spend a while just getting to know ya. But it's all gonna be alright. I'm loving you tonight, oh, oh, yeah, yeah. I'm loving you tonight, oh, oh, yeah, yeah. And you are there on my heart at the start of my every morning, and I can't deny by the end of the day that I'm running on empty. But you make it fall, steal my breath. You're so unpredictable. That's what I'm coming home to. Oh, I'm dreaming about a romance, slow dancing with you. When I got you in my arms, I don't care what we do. 'Cause I'll say, hey, I'll say, baby, how's your day? I'll say crazy, but it's all gonna be alright. You'll kiss my smile, I'll pull you closer, spend a while just getting to know ya. But it's all gonna be alright. I'm loving you tonight, and every day is just the in-between.
Snap solo's coming up.
The hours separating you from me. I don't want you to miss it. I know you'll be waiting. I know you'll be waiting.
Awesome, right?
And I'll say, hey, you'll say, baby, how's your day? I'll say crazy, but it's all gonna be alright. You kiss my smile, I'll pull you closer, spend a while just getting to know ya. But it's all gonna be alright. I'm loving you tonight, oh, oh, yeah, yeah. I'm loving you tonight, oh, oh, yeah, yeah. I'm loving you and dreaming about a romance, slow dancing with you. Loving you with you in my arms, I don't care what we do. I'm loving you tonight.
I hope you guys have an incredible evening. Stay safe out there and continue to donate all that money.
Thanks, Andrew. I don't know if you could hear me snapping along with you there. That's Andrew Allen. If you want to check him out, go to his social media feeds. It's Andrew Allen. And of course, Allen in this case is spelled A-L-L-E-N. And check him out also at andrewallenlive.com. Now we're going to take you to Ethiopia. Bizrat Sime is going to join us, Canadian Humanitarian's country representative overseeing 10 projects in Ethiopia, each project's Ethiopian staff, and 542 children and their families. Bizrat began as the country representative for Canadian Humanitarian in 2010 and has been an integral part of its success in reaching so many families and children throughout the country. And we are pleased to hear an update from him tonight. And well, actually, it's tomorrow morning. Or is it this morning? It's 6:05 a.m., Bizrat. What day is this? So what's going on? How are things going in Ethiopia for Canadian Humanitarian?
Things are going well here. That, of course, at the beginning, we were forced to shut down our project centers, but as it's necessary to have it because it's everything for the kids, so they are open. So we try to be as flexible as possible for us. So the center started to give services by being open partially. So what we did is we introduced a remote tutoring for the kids. That is, Canadian Humanitarian Office took the responsibility to prepare remote tutoring materials for the kids and also materials for extracurricular activities. So every week, the kids or their guardians come to the centers and they collect their materials and work on them. And every week they come collect and return back answer sheets. So I have greetings for all of them, from the kids, their guardians, staff members, and all my colleagues. All of us are saying hello. When we think about Canadians, all of you there, all the time, which comes to us is hope and, in effect, bright future for our country. So we would like to say thank you. Another thing we are having here is a monthly food and hygiene supplies distribution, because feeding has been a crucial component of the activities we have at the centers. So we couldn't just leave it due to COVID as the centers have been closed. So what we do is we distribute food and hygiene supplies to all the families. When I say families, when it was feeding, what we were doing was only for the kids. But when we introduced food and hygiene supplies distribution, we started by giving us enough for all the families. Because due to COVID-19, more than 75% of the guardians lost their casual jobs. Most of them were working as day laborers, but they were laid off, there were no jobs, so we had to be there for them. So we did all this by your support. All of them, all of us say thank you very much from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you.
So Bizrat, thank you again so much for joining us because it's so early in the morning where you are. You've been with Canadian Humanitarian now for 10 years. What kind of a difference has the support meant to the families of the young people? We saw some videos earlier in the program this evening from some of these young women who started with the program and have now graduated from post-secondary institutions and are teaching and making contributions in the community. So how have things changed just in the last decade since you've been involved?
Since I have been with Canadian Humanitarian, what we've seen is, like I said, first, people started to be hopeful. Previously, they were in despair because they were confused. There was nothing for them. Some of them were on the streets. Some of them were very much vulnerable to go out. So first, there's hope for them. So they can be self-sufficient. And we have graduates. If we take the kids, we have a doctor, there are engineers, accountants, and some of them are being married and having kids. So there is hope and tangible change in the lives of individuals, which could break the cycle of poverty.
Now, Bizrat, so you talked about COVID-19, which has had a devastating effect on the economy of Ethiopia, along with what's happening here in Canada and around the world. But there's also been some political upheaval in Ethiopia as well, and some internal strife politically and internally. So what impact has that had on what you're trying to do?
I can't say too much about this, but what I can say is there's stress on everybody. And I don't know if I can say, fortunately, the area where we have our projects, there's nothing around there, but in general, it has a stress.
So what do you see the future like for Canadian Humanitarian? What are some of the projects that you'd like to see supported going forward in addition to what you're already doing? As we saw on the screen, we're over $70,000 tonight, and our donor blitz continues with matching funds. What are some things that still need to be done to move this forward, do you think?
As we see, there was a plan to start school since September, but it's not going on. So I think we would continue giving remote tutoring and partial activities, and also food distribution will continue. But what we are focusing on is self-reliance, is individual sustainability. So our peculiar nature is we don't have a general project-based phasing out strategy, because that doesn't work for us. We work with individuals. So we need to more focus on scholarship, higher education, vocational trainings, and other forms of self-reliance for guardians.
What about the importance of education and making sure that these young people are still in school in the midst of COVID-19 and everything else that's going on in the world? What is it doing for their morale, for their self-esteem? How is it helping them cope with what's going on in the world right now?
In addition to morale and self-esteem, education is everything for the kids in our country, because it's the only way out of poverty. So if you look at activities being run at the projects, all of the kids know about this. They are enthusiastic about their education. So education is everything. So even if schools are not going to be opened, we need to work hard by giving remote tutoring or schedule-based tutoring and educational activities at the center. So education is everything to go out of poverty.
Let me ask you a personal question. What difference has being part of Canadian Humanitarian done made in your life? How has it changed your life?
In addition to being employed or having a job, it changed my perception. When I say perception, when I look at vulnerable kids and poor people, I don't just sympathize. I have vision, I have directions, and there's a model we follow, this holistic child support model. And all the time I think about it, I have a changed perception in general. There's hope. If we are willing, there's still hope for orphan and vulnerable kids.
Bizrat, I don't think it's any secret that there's been a lot of talk about racial injustice in the world, not just in the United States, but here in Canada as well. Does this give you hope for the future, the kind of programs that Canadian Humanitarian is running, that we can bridge those differences and bring people together through this kind of work?
Yes. When I speak about this, I want to say few words about expedition. When we have expeditions, apart from skills, talents which are being brought, but there's a bridge being created all the time, despite we have differences, like racial differences, but the expedition is breaking that, because we share experiences. It's mutual, it's both ways. We share experiences from Canada and United States, and people coming from United States and Canada share experiences and love and attachment and clothing. We learn a lot from each other. So yes, there is a lot especially from having expeditions. In addition to expeditions, working together, being connected from your end, there's something going on. From our end, there's an effect, the impact of what you do there. So yes, this is crucial.
All right, Bizrat, before I let you go, I have to ask you, what's the weather like in Ethiopia right now?
We are in our dry, and
Yeah.
the maximum in this week, the maximum was 24 degrees centigrade, and the lowest is 8. It's dry, and you will love it. You need to come and see.
I would love to come and visit, especially when it's 24 degrees at this time of year. Bizrat, thank you so much for joining us. Keep up the great work.
Thank you.
That's Bizrat Sime, who is the Canadian Humanitarian's country representative in Ethiopia. And he got up well before the crack of dawn to join us virtually and live, I might add, this evening during this fundraiser. It is now 8:20, which tells me, what did I say? I think I said 8 o'clock. You would have a half an hour to get involved in that donor blitz. So you have another 10 minutes to do that. And I'm also supposed to announce the winner of the door prize right now. And so I'm expecting a text from Deb Northcott at some point. Deb, are you going to make the door prize draw and then text me? This is the one thing about virtual Zoom. I'm looking at my texts and I have about 700 different ones, technically and otherwise. Anyways, in the meantime, we'd like to thank everybody from Ethiopia, and especially for you tonight, Woynishet, V1 and V2, and Degnet. So thank you so much to them for joining us. And there's Bizrat Sime right now. I thought you'd already be back in bed, Bizrat. If I were you, I'd be going back to sleep. And so we'd like to take another opportunity to thank our sponsors tonight, because without those sponsors, we couldn't do this. And we're well over $70,000 now. So that is good news. Carter and Ellie Siebens, they've been supporters of Canadian Humanitarian for over 12 years now. We appreciate their valuable contributions. Dr. Justin Stee, whom you heard from earlier in the program from Southern Alberta, Medicine Hat Toyota, Amanda Vandermolen and Danilo Moran, carrying on the tradition that Toyota has had for over 12 years supporting this event. Dr. Matt Gibb from Gaslight Dental in Medicine Hat, Dr. Ted Cowtan and Sylvian Cowtan from Medicine Hat as well, Myers Norris and Penny of Medicine Hat, and special thanks to our Hope sponsors, Julie Dixon, Carla Risling of Medicine Hat Hearing, Lyle and Sharon Taylor, and Viola Glaze. We appreciate the dedication of all of our sponsors to serving their community, both locally and globally in this case, and especially this event this evening. Special thanks as well to Stay at Home Fundraising for their behind-the-scenes technical support for Canadian Humanitarian's Gala tonight. Devour Catering in Calgary, Shooting Star Events in Medicine Hat, Plum Grocery Club in Lethbridge, Eats with Luke, Fiasco Gelato, who prepared the charcuterie boxes and treats for guests to enjoy this evening as well. And the online silent auction is open all night. So we're going to close it at 9 p.m. sharp. And we have guests joining us from all over the world, actually, and also from all over North America. So that's 9 o'clock Mountain Time. So if you can do the math wherever you are, we would appreciate it. You'll be contacted if you won your desired item, and arrangements will be made for getting it to you. The door prize draw winner will be announced at the end of the evening, and hopefully Deb is pulling something for me right now. So this is a special weekend getaway, October 2021. So next fall, and hopefully vaccines in place, we can travel again, everything's good. That's at the Walnut Beach Resort in Osoyoos, BC. So good luck to whoever gets that special prize. And let me check my texts. Oh, here we go. I've got a couple of announcements here. Let me check that. So if they flip this around, the winner of the door prize is Jeremy Rustin. Congratulations, Jeremy. You have won the door prize. Also, look at this. We're announcing an $8,888 donation from our supporters in Whistler. Way to go, Whistler. Well done. We can't travel to Whistler right now if you're from Alberta, but we will certainly take your money for this great cause. And that's just for Also, if you want to do more, you can do so by calling the same phone numbers that you saw pop up until noon Saturday, November 21st, or you can donate directly on the main Canadian Humanitarian website. That is CanadianHumanitarian.com. So you can continue to donate anytime. Thanks again to all of our sponsors and auction donors, and thank you to all of the guests and everyone who joined us this evening. I'm Doug Dirks, host of The Home Stretch on CBC Radio 1 here in Calgary, and privileged to host this virtual gala. Hopefully we can do it again in person next year. And if you'd like to visit with another one this evening, you may do so tonight. Please follow directions in your email to move direct guests to the Rally Platform guest room. And that platform allows guests to visit one another like chat rooms of the 90s, for those of you old enough to remember, and I'm certainly one of them. Except the guests can move and hop from table to table. Check it out. Apparently it was tested and it works great. So continue to enjoy the evening. And we are now at $80,573. Fantastic. Thanks to everyone. Have a good night. We'll do it all again next year.